Welcome back to Internet Investigations. This is your Trippy Trip C, Psychedelic Psychopomp, Chase Clarence Calloway. And I just recorded 1 hour and 30 minutes of gold, absolute gold. It was perfect. It was the best episode of Internet Investigations ever. Absolutely. 1 hour and 30 minutes of the best episode of Internet Investigations ever. I just spun all my energy doing that. And because the only technology that I can use with my phone is this microphone that forces me to use an app that records into it and not onto my phone. And it used to record onto my phone, but they released an update where it records into it. And that just now it requires me to record into the app and then download it onto my phone instead of just recording onto my phone. So now I have to make this episode really about technology and chakras and spinning and show how horrible the people who created this technology are simply through how it functions. Because I just went through 1 hour and 30 minutes of pure gold where it was directly about chakras. It was all very great. It was all very fun. It was all very happy. I was very light. I just got back from the gym. I had a bunch of energy. It was really fun. It was perfect. We learned a lot. Said a lot of things. I'm so pissed off. And I hit done. We finished it. And the app decided to close it and not save it. And it just decides to do that. And I'm just baffled that this is the only technology that I have access to because I don't have money. I don't have resources. I'm not rich. I'm living like that Spider-Man Jesus lifestyle of being a poor black dude, a poor black boy with no money, out of college with a bunch of debt because I decided as a space that I wanted to relate with people on their level. So now here I am living out this circumstance as Spider-Man where barely can really afford the place where I live, let alone afford to waste time making videos that my phone that I'm paying money to have won't save. So now that's 1 hour, 1.5 hours of my life that I can never get back. No one can see what I just did in that 1.5 hours. That's how I know my soul isn't showing. I'm very connected to everything that just happened, everything that I just built. And now it's all purely a memory inside of my space. So this is what brings us to chakras. Your chakras, your fucking soul. I'm so pissed off right now. I'm really trying to contain it and keep it concise. We'll get lighter, I think, as I don't get pissed off, but I'm beyond pissed off. I don't have the money to be spending 1.5 hours with all this shit around me wasting time. Like, I have to use my time valuably. And to be spending money on technology that can just steal my time is the epitome of living in a white supremacist world. Like, they've really just set up all these ways to steal my energy and steal my time and use my creations to do it. Also, they can build up their ugly, disgusting, evil empire. And I'm in here living it day by day. Been living it for 25 years now. I fucking hate being alive. Like, I don't want to be here. I literally don't want to be alive here. I want to make that clear. I don't want to be alive here. I'm called here. Spirits need me to be alive here. So I'm choosing to be alive here. I don't like being here. That's why I'm good at separating my mind from my body and leaving. I hate this place. I hate what white supremacists have done to everyone's minds here. I hate how everyone supports awful technology and awful governments and awful systems and horrible religious ideologies that were all stolen from Mercury. It disgusts me. I hate being here. And the fact that I had to sacrifice my body, sacrifice my time and my energy to a system that just consistently hates me and steals everything from me and wants me to be black, to have nothing to show for it, beyond infuriating. It is beyond infuriating. These sirens that are going off right now, beyond infuriating. And you would never see how I feel about any of this if I did not express it through my mind. So that's how I know my soul is not showing. Anyone telling you that your soul is showing is a liar. Fuck these sirens. Fuck everything that just happened here. I hate this place. I hate this place so much. I literally just want to be home. I want to be home, but this place needs me for some, they were supposed to go through an awakening. People need help. Man, these people can't even help themselves. Like what? I hate this. I hate being here. I really hate being here. And the only reason I'm forced to do this video now is because I don't want this technology to win. I don't want them to actually succeed at stealing 1.5 hours of my time, and now I'm black. Now I'm a black Negro nigger. Now I have nothing to show for it, how I just spent money upholding technology that is only built on raping and consuming indigenous lands. They only brought evil shit here and stole everything from us to do it. And they used Jesus to justify it. I hate this shit beyond belief. No one can see it. No one can see how much I hate this technology. That first episode was gold. It was gold. It was gold. We're going to get into it here, okay? I'm just beyond pissed off, and no one can see that. No one can actually imagine how angry I am. But maybe you could, because then this is where we get relatability. This is where we get relatability, right? Because if you're a content creator that, for example, if you spent money getting a bunch of actors together, right? And you filmed a whole amazing skit with all these actors that you could only bring together once, and then you get home and you find out that the memory card wasn't in the camera or some other thing was happening where you did not get the footage, that's horrible. You can relate with me. So this is the magic of life. This is why I'm forced to do this video. I'm going to do it again because I'm here to build these structures as symmetry. I'm just beyond pissed off that this technology is built by white supremacists who need to rape me and take all of my things because they want me to be lack. They want me to be nothing. That's why they steal my creations and then project their ideas onto me, all to justify with Jesus how they need to eat me to gain salvation. Great. Thanks, Masons. Thanks, Jews. Thanks, Christians. Thanks, everyone who created this technology and brought it into indigenous lands against our will. It's very sad that we open our hearts to you. We're just very loving people. Lesson learned, right? I really hope the lesson was learned, everybody. I really hope the lesson was learned, and I'm going to make sure I save this video real quick. Hate this. I don't want to do this video, but I'm also passionate about getting this information out, so I'll just do it again. Just understand it's not at all the same energy. I'm obviously not saying or doing anything the same way that I did in the first video. And you'll never know what I did in the first video. Only I do. So now that's like what? A little practice video for me? Because the spirits that are setting up shit around me or my phone, they're just like, oh, we like to see you struggle. We like to see you work harder than you have to. That's what you got to go through to actually build. You can't just actually build it. You can't have what you made. No, we're going to steal it from you. Just like your mom threw everything out when you traveled to LA and stayed there for a year. She threw out half your things because we're going to take from you so you can do more with less. Do more with less, Chase. Be a little black nigger and do more with less. That's my life right now. That's the Spider-Man black nigger life for Chase Clarence Calloway. I fucking hate it here. These Masons and Jews program all this shit. This technology can't communicate in any basic Mercurian way. It's beyond my belief. Beyond my... And for them to get to keep stealing my time and energy, and I'm forced to give it more because it's the only way I can connect with people who are colonized by the Matrix and help us all ascend, because I get just fucking called here. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I do not want to be here. Like, I'm only here because I know that if I died if I killed myself, if I found a way to kill myself right now, my family would be completely ashamed of me. I'd just be shamed on Mercury. They'd be like, you failed your mission. What'd you do? What, you let being shadow banned get you down? You let having your videos taken down and having your accounts taken down and having your phone malfunction get you down? What? Really? That's why you killed yourself? See? Now look at me. Now, like, when I put myself in that space, when I put myself in that space, it looks pretty silly to kill myself now. And it looks like I just have to do this shit again. Now we just have to build it again. Fuck it. We will build it again. Just know you're not getting the same shit. I'm angrier now. This is why life is fire, water, air, earth. Okay, so here we are. This is my system as Ahura Mazda. Okay, I'm literally the CymaTree, the space that built Mercury, that spirits use the ideas to conduct business from. So I let people steal my shit. That's why I can make all this make more sense. And when the technology fails, I will still just make another video that this one might still be an hour and a half long, because I want you to have the valuable golden information that I was sharing from my space. This is the point of me building a body here, so I can share my air, share my mind with you. Once I share my mind with you, you can use my ideas from Mercury to build. And this is exactly what the government that built this phone has done. This is exactly what the government that built this computer has done. This is how all Masons have made their mind matter, by stealing all of their ideas from Metatron, the mind of Mercury, the CymaTree, the mind of CymaTree. So like, this is my job. I'm forced to do this. Like, this is why I was called here. I don't want to be here, but that's why it's really easy for me to separate my mind from my body. I can go to that space. I can literally already die. Like, if I want to kill myself, I wouldn't like waste my body like that. That's why it's like actually laughable to think about doing that. It's just them processing emotions, right? This is why it's so important to be spiritual. Okay, so when you think about the difference of spirituality versus physical reality, and this is so essential for me too. I cannot overthink about how I did the first video perfectly, because I feel like if I think too much about the first video, I'm going to throw myself off of how I'm doing this video. So let me ground myself real quick, because I low-key have to forget the first video. I'm going to say everything that I said in the first video, but it's just going to be different now, because I've already spun my chakra and built in a way that now I'm infinitely angry about losing what was stolen from me by this Masonic technology. All right. So your chakra is your soul. This is the main point that we're going to expand from. So when you understand that as a space, when you imagine yourself, that's your ego and that's your awareness, and you're always experiencing what you want to be aware of. Now you can understand why your soul is what connects everything that you want to be aware of. And this is going to be your emotions. So if you don't emotionally feel like connecting with something outside of your space, you're not going to be aware of it. Okay, so let's think about your space and how you could build a planet where you have your own atmosphere. If you don't emotionally feel like using your mind to travel to a different planet outside of your own, you're not going to be aware of the animals there. You're not going to be aware of the atmosphere. You're not going to be aware of the life that's flourishing there. This is totally different than the last video already, so I just have to go with it. So, and now I already just threw myself off. I'm so angry. So this is the power of anger. Like, when you get really angry and you start to overthink from that anger, it clouds your judgment, right? It actually does cloud your ability to communicate clearly. So if I went to get my trippy tripsy communication ability going on, I have to quell the angry overthinking based on my attachment to the last hour and a half of pure gold that I just laid out. And here's a spiritual power right here. So I can view that as training. I can view that as a test run video for this video. Perhaps spiritually, what my space set up is that I'm not actually supposed to have the video the way that I had it before. And this video, for some reason, for everybody, is going to be more relatable and going to help us maybe even create better technology. If this inspires anyone to make better technology, that'd be cool. But also the point is for me to communicate how you cannot see my soul. So my soul is really connected to that video. If you could see my soul, you would just see that video because I just did it and you could see it. So no one's soul is showing. If anyone's telling you that your soul is showing, they're a liar. They're objectively lying, or they don't know what the soul means. But if they are with me and they're aware of me and I've taught them what the soul means, then they are lying. Because your soul is your chakra. Your soul is fundamentally how you cycle through your own emotion inside of your own space. And no one can see how you cycle through your emotion through your own space. No one can see that. Only you, as the space creating that emotion, can use your ego to be aware of that. So I can use my ego to explore my huge chakra. So that's like all the feelings I have, right? I have so many aspects of feelings, but my ego can choose to be aware of different feelings. So let's say if someone's making me feel a kind of way, I could choose not to feel that kind of way based on my ego. That would be me projecting desire. That would be me projecting fire. So that's always number one. And then water is always number two. So air then, always number three. Earth, number four. metal, number 5, flesh, number 6. And then your consciousness is going to be number 7. So when you know that your soul is your chakra, then you know that this is your ability to be forever expansive. This is where everything in Naruto is stolen from Zoroastrianism. Because fundamentally, everything in Christianity is stolen from Zoroastrianism. And this is where, when you look at Zoroastrianism, you understand the chakras and you learn how to conduct your chi through your body. And really everything that is in the modern world right now, as far as Asia, like all modern spirituality is stolen from Hermeticism and Zoroastrianism, based on how Masons have taken these ideas and built their empires off of them. Because fundamentally, they know, and they do teach, as we've already seen in internet investigations so far, that they understand, they have documented because they stole the information and they are teaching, they're using the truth to sell their lies, so whatever. But they literally know, no shortage of information on the internet, that Hermes is the one who brings knowledge to humans. And Mercury is a space that brings knowledge to humanity. Tehuti is a space that brought knowledge to humanity. Odin built the 9 realms and brings knowledge to humans. So in general, the space of Mercury is meant to bring knowledge to humans. That's why I have to do this video. I would literally, be upset at myself for letting this phone cut me off and letting this phone win. So I'm going to keep spinning my chakras, and that's my soul. So because my emotions keep going, my chakra is still flowing, I have the option whether I'm going to let this phone cut off my vibration. So this is where, based on how your soul can vibrate, right? This is now your emotional frequency. So this is why you always have fire first, because fire is frequency. And then your emotion, that's your water. That's your vibration. So you're always vibrating at a certain frequency, because the frequency is the emotion that you choose to be aware of. So then this is where your ego, based on you as the observer, whatever you egotistically want to be aware of, that's going to allow you to emotionally vibrate in a way that creates energy. So if I want to egoically, as the space experiencing space, if I want to be aware of the emotions that allow me to be more productive, then I'm going to focus on those versus the emotions that would hold me back. And then this is where it's basically like the superhero mentality, where you like keep going, right? A lot of people may not have that. And this is what drives any story, right? Any movie, where if a character just sat down and accepted failure, then, there's no story. Like, you're supposed to keep going, because it's really, the point is the internal work of spinning your chakras. So for whatever reason, all the internal work that I just went through of spinning my chakras, that first video, is supposed to make me stronger. And now I'll do this video, and even though this video is me feeling like I'm bitching right now, I feel like I'm just complaining about how I lost an hour and a half of gold and am spending all this money to live a nigger lifestyle where I'm Spider-Man, not being able to afford a place where I'm at barely, like everyone's working so hard in LA to live in their places in general. So it's like that energy of just, dang, like having to hold it together while having nothing to show for myself. Like, they want everyone in that. That's why this is a relatable circumstance, as far as being in poverty and not being really able to afford your rent. And then how annoying it is to be in that space while paying money for technology that is stealing your time, energy, and information just so they can make more money off of you. And it's like so insanely frustrating. Like, there's just no words for how evil these people are. I'm so beyond infuriated. I'm so beyond angry. I'm so beyond infuriated. Whatever. In other words, livid. All right. So, but that's where I egoically, and this is like, again, all of us, egoically, we choose light. So light is the fire emotions. So light is us feeling lighter about whatever is holding us down. So that's the soul. So the soul is always holding you down because water always goes down. That's the connection that grounds you. But your ego, the fire, is what allows that water to actually expand. If you didn't have that fire to make the water, then literally your water would just basically just be like this and it would never expand and you would never grow. And that's not how the mind works, because air is always expanding. But then here, once you have a mind that's always expanding, this is all Zoroastrianism. Once you have a mind that's always expanding, now you have to build a body that can hold on to that mind. This is then where we have the idea of being someone who's like small. Like, I love this shit very much. The idea of being like that Spider-Man build where you have a smaller body, but then you can conduct chi through that body in a way that could beat up someone who has an even bigger body and they have even bigger muscles than you. So now you are demonstrating that you as a space can actually conduct chi at a greater level than a body that supposedly has more muscle. And then this is where we would all learn that the mind matters over matter, or really mind over matter. So this is where everything in Naruto and everything in Dragon Ball Z, literally Masons just stole it directly from Zoroastrianism, and they're just weaponizing it against you. And it infuriates me. It's very sad. Like, literally, if the Masons did not steal everything and like reset humanity with the 2022, whatever that's the year we're in, with sacrificing Jesus and giving us a whole new calendar or whatever, and stealing all this information and creating Jesus out of Zoroaster, then you would know that you could be like Jesus based on how Naruto can walk on water. Like, when you look at Jesus walk on water, you would know that, oh, well, I can conduct my chi and I can walk on water like Naruto. And then that'd be you having superpowers. But it's about knowing spiritually that you have to use your mind to vibrate at a higher frequency than the reality you're in. So then this is where we can see that Naruto characters, right, like Dragon Ball Z characters, they vibrate at a frequency higher than the people who perhaps can't do jutsus, right? And that always makes the difference between who's stronger versus who's weaker. Who can vibrate at a higher frequency and more frequently, which is really that frequency thing. That's the whole point. So your vibration, when you keep it going at a high frequency, that's you gaining power, gaining strength. And that's always going to beat out people who are vibrating at a lower frequency. So this is why good always beats evil, basically, in Zoroastrianism and just in general in the universe, in the worldwide infinite metaverse of everything, totality of space and time. Because it's really about how desires beat demons. Spirits will always find a way to live more in their desire than the demon, because really good people love to be alone and evil people love to be with others. So good people are always going to be able to be more apt to create a situation, a circumstance where they can be happy alone and be fulfilled there. Like, that's basically how indigenous peoples create America. Quetzalcoatl, Zolot, all the Atlanteans and Mercurians built the Americas based on literally being happy alone and sustaining that space and creating a circumstance where they allowed other spaces to come in and connect and build and grow. And then that's where we then get the colonizers, the Masons, the Europeans, the Jews, who want to use Jesus to justify the genocide that they're spreading to all the people that they're stealing their ideas from. And so then this is where the Illuminati worships Zoroaster so hard behind closed doors. Like, you guys have no idea. Y'all have no idea how hard the government weaponizes and loves Hermes and Zoroaster and Tehuti and Odin. Like, you only see glimpses of it based on how they use the caduceus to make money off of your body through the medical industry, or how they weaponize all these ideas in Christianity and Judaism and Marvel and comics and just all their stories. Like, they trickle it out because they have to weaponize the truth to sell you lies. But the only way they can be seen as a true son of God's is to use the truth to sell you lies. So you're supposed to look more at the lie than the truth. So when you see Doctor Strange 2, that's their version of Zarathustra, because Doctor Strange is actually a practitioner of Zoroastrianism. Get right? He goes to Asia to learn all those spells to manipulate time and existence. That's all Mercury shit. That's all literally him being Zarathustra, the Prophet of Ahura Mazda. But it's Mason's version. So all they did was steal my life and turn it into a comic. So that's just like Black Panther. All they did was take Tehuti and then turn it into a comic. Spider-Man, they took Quetzalcoatl and turned him into a comic. So now Spider-Man really holds the whole Marvel metaverse together because of the whole Spider-Verse thing. And that's, again, Mercury. So Mercury comes in many forms, and they know this. That's why they're so happy worshiping all these past lives and obsessed with using the information that they stole from these past lives, but they need to use this information to sell you on lies, because that's how they build a matrix that traps your energy. And now I have to speak into a phone again after doing it perfectly for an hour and a half. It was so light and fun. I was so fast and like quick-witted and like not heavy and slow and angry and like attached to it, because literally being attached to the past makes you heavier and slower. That's where you start to overthink, right? So if I'm like flowing, but I start to compare how I'm flowing now to what I was doing before and how it was way better before, then that's going to be a low vibration that starts to drag me down. And now if I want to take you on the journey of how I'm feeling about that, I'm going to process that emotion and talk about it. So I'm literally right now playing out how I have to use my space power. I, as a space, have to create the intention that allows me to vibrate in a way to generate the energy, which manifests the matter, the material, which is me speaking English right now and putting these words together to show you the processes that I am cycling through internally. You would never see that if I was not able to use Earth to communicate in a certain way. So that's the mind. That's the mind communicating right there. So now you can see what I'm saying, but you can only see it with what? Particles. So then this is the Earth. So now the words are Earth. So each word that I'm using is Earth, and I'm using each word to lay down a brick. And this is a whole building. That's, again, how I view it. That's why it's like, dang, like I built that whole video, and now this technology, this Masonic technology, just stole it, ripped it all from me, because the people who built it don't know how to spin through their own chakras properly. There's no reason this app should be this bad, and there's no reason that I should be limited to literally only one option of microphone that works with my phone like this. So for them to have a monopoly on technology, just to have garbage technology, shows how insanely greedy, like it is beyond belief how greedy Masons are. They literally want to steal everything so that they can justify rape, genocide, and evil atrocities like everything associated with child trafficking that we don't even need to get into with the Illuminati and just the Freemasons. And again, everything associated with building America and eating indigenous individuals in all levels, in all ways, in all spectrums. Right here, they just ate all of my time. They ate all of my energy in that hour and a half. And it's up to me to provide more so that I can build something that allows me to do what I wanted to do in the first place. So my soul's not showing. If it was up to my soul, you would just see what I want you to see, and I wouldn't have to build a video at all. So it's beyond retarded. It's beyond stupid and pretty insane, actually. It's pretty insane for anyone to tell you that your soul is showing, and for someone to literally believe that your soul is showing. Because I literally just did all of that shit, and if I could just show you what I wanted to show you, then none of this would matter, and I wouldn't have to go through all this communication processes to make these structures make sense. So I like literally have to collect myself and do a bunch of internal processes now to find balance in not being attached to the last video, but also working to remember what I talked about and how it like was all just perfect. It was all perfect. It was all so good. Okay. So the soul is a chakra, and chakras aren't seen without chi. So think of your chakra, that's your water, that's your soul. Your chi is the air that spreads out from your chakra. So that's like your nervous system. So when you see in Naruto, again, this is all stolen from Zoroastrianism. That's why I know way more about it than them. And I can expound upon it way more even after I just lost gold. Gold. Ugh. Gold from my mind. God damn. Sucks. It really sucks. We just got to keep going. Your chakra is your water because your water is your emotions, and your emotions are how you cycle through space. So everyone cycles through space differently. This is why we all lead different lives. And then this is where your soul is the overall way that your space connects with itself. And then all of your chakras are the mini playouts of that based on how you have to build a body and be detailed in a way that all of these different bodies come together to build a simulation. So this is why you get every body having a chakra at that level, like your heart having chakras. But then at that point, your cells would have chakras, really, at that point. Like, because the whole thing is that your soul is your chakra, and that's how you spin your wheel. And then that's how you make your space real. But then this is where, with the soul being internal, it's never showing. No one can see it. Very stupid idea. It takes you conducting chi through your air to make it real through the body. And then that's where air and earth is the actual external that makes the internal real. So you need the air and earth to make fire and water relatable. This is why if I did not feel like doing this video again, and I just held on to the memory, the fire and water of speaking, but not actually having a structure to consistently communicate it in this reality, I failed my mission. So I have to do this. I have to do this again, and it's okay. I'm going to spin my chakras, and we're going to get through it. And I think once I get into the groove, I'll share it better, or I don't know, whatever. I'm very angry, but we're learning something, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you're learning from this. Like, the point is, I am, as my space, being a conduit for lessons. So whatever people can learn from this, I hope it's that we should build better technology at the very least, at the very bare minimum. We should not have Masonic technology built by people who can't spin their chakras. It shows. These people literally cannot cycle through their emotions well enough to build technology that can even actually exist in nature harmoniously. That's why they marvel at the pyramids, because they don't know how to spin their chakras to build a pyramid. They don't know how to spin their chakras to build something that lasts. They don't know how to spin their chakras to conduct their chi in a way that manifests the true life of their dreams. Because really, the only way they can make the life of their dreams real is to steal your energy. That's what the Matrix is. That's why Masons have manifested the Matrix by sacrificing Jesus to the New World Order. And now all of them can do whatever they want to with everyone who is forced to learn English and abide by the weekdays structure. So now weekdays put you in a weekdays, literally. Everyone's living weekdays. Go to chaseyourgenes.com, all right, if you want to learn the actual truth of what these weekdays are, so you can alchemize them into something that works for you. Because that's really what it's about. If you chose to be here, then it's actually because you chose to be an alchemist. Literally. This is the whole point. You're an alchemist. That's why you exist. And this is what Zoroastrianism is supposed to teach you. Again, there's just like everything's diluted and like lost in demonic details based on Masons making up all their shit from how they stole everything from me. The individual space that built Mercury, the one space. All my bodies are expressions of one ego with one soul. It's one ego and one soul. One ego, one soul. One ego, one soul. My soul is me connecting with my ego. My ego is so infinite that I have to express it over many timelines. So this is how all of my bodies are connected, past, present, and future, whatever, by my space. So then this is where you get air, the idea of everything, everywhere, all at once. The idea of your consciousness being able to experience all the ways in which your ego has used its soul to connect with spaces outside of itself. And then this is now you being able to ground your mind in one body. And now this is now literally Doctor Strange 2, right? They stole all this shit from me. Objectively stole all this shit from me. This is where you get the idea of taking your Merkaba from your body and then traveling it and sending it into another body. So now you can be aware of one of your other lives. You can be aware of another circumstance where you've created a body to exist in. And then that's their idea of the multiverse. But it's really you exploring your own space. Like, for real, because this is where we get like past, present, and future. The past already happened, and the past is memories that people are like spaces are holding on to and we're building upon. So we hold on to information. That's the idea of building structures inside of our spaces. But if you're going to explore the information that you have built in the past, you have to go back to your own space. So now when you look at Odin, right, Asgard, that's all gone. So then how does one go back to that timeline and re-experience it? You can't go back to that timeline and re-experience it. That's not what it's about. You actually have to let that timeline go while knowing you can hold on to the information of that timeline. You can hold on to the information of how your soul has connected with reality up to that point. And that's basically you using your Mercury. This is what the idea of Mercury is. That's you building your mind consistently. And then this is the idea of actually living over multiple lifetimes. But then, of course, if you're manifested in different civilizations, you're going to have different names. You come to people in different forms. So here I am as Metatron, Ahura Mazda, Odin, talking to you about being the Spider-Man, the Quetzalcoatl, that communicates with all spirits about how we are connected with ourselves for infinity and beyond. So now all of your past lives are connected by your awareness of your space. Because your awareness of your space is what led you to being aware of spaces outside of yourself. And you could only be aware of spaces outside of yourself because you use your soul to kill your ego. So this is why fire always comes before water, okay? You as a space have to use your water to kill your fire so that your mind can be aware of earth. And then that's you choosing to relate with the external world versus the internal world. So that's how you would build a body out of your soul. Your internal world is always your soul. Anyone who's telling you that your soul is showing is literally telling you that they can see your internal world. And that's beyond a lie. Like, that's literally the most ugly lie ever. Because all they're going to do is project their ugly internal world onto you. And now they're going to colonize your space, basically. They're going to just take over your consciousness over time because they're not actually seeing you as an individual. They're only projecting their desire to connect into you. Because that's what the soul is, your connection with your space. But when you know that no one can connect with your space like you can, because no one can see your space, that's you understanding basic Hermeticism. This is basic Hermeticism that the government stole from me, that these Masons, that these Jews stole from me. This is the idea of having a Hermetic seal. And your Hermetic seal is really your mind. So your soul is always going to be contained in your space, and it's up to your mind to communicate what your soul is cycling through. So now your consciousness is like a Hermetic seal. And the way that you conduct your chi is going to build seals that allow you to build cells. And then this is like true magic, unlike you using your jutsus, right? Like you get all these hand symbols going, right? All these hand seals. That's literally what they call them. They stole this shit from me. And now you can conduct your chi in a way that's fireball jutsu, by the way. Literally, you can conduct your chi, you can blow fire now. But like, it took all those Naruto characters had to go through the Zoroastrian process, literally, of developing their fire, water, air, and then earth to actually transform their blood in a way that could create flesh. And by creating that flesh, they can more consciously express their chi through the flesh. And then this is where you get Rasengan. This is where you get, based on like their astrological alignments, right? They would be way more into conducting certain elements. And so now, based on your astrological alignments, you can recognize yourself as a Naruto character. Now you can use your chi to walk on water because Zarathustra just taught you how. The whole point is you knowing that your soul is your vibration. So when your body is a higher vibration than the water, than the universe that you exist in, this is you being as connected to your space as possible. This is everything that we have in chasergenes.com. This is space science. This is what fasting is about. Literally, the closer you get to your space, the higher vibration you are. And that allows you to have superpowers. That's the whole idea of superpowers. That's why Jesus is supposed to be the Jewish superhero, because he literally fasted 40 days and talked to God. And now because he's the only one who can talk to God, he's the only one who has the word of God. And he sacrificed himself so that you can support the genocide that these people who taught you who he is are spreading to indigenous individuals who they're actually stealing real wisdom from and who they're actually cannibalizing because they believe that eating the body of Christ will lead them to salvation. And they want you to participate in that ritual with them. I, as Zarathustra, would like you to not, because I've been experiencing that ritual play out in my life because I've been fasting and I'm actually the space that these ideas have been stolen from. It's been too trippy. It's really been wild for me. So I have to be here communicating and doing this because my life has been pretty crazy and only I am aware of all these things. And no one knows how my soul has connected with this world other than me. So it's up to me to now take that fire and water that no one can see at all and then process it with my air and build earth out of it. So then that's the external world. So now I have to go through the process to build this video again because I feel like cycling through my chakras again. You see that? Literally. So it's because I love you. Seriously, it's because I love everyone so much. I really do. That's why I agreed to come here. It's just beyond frustrating that I don't really feel like I'm getting support, and I feel like I'm getting like just completely devalued and used and abused. And yeah, it's just very whack. Like, again, playing that Spider-Man game is just fucking gnarly. Like, the fact that they evicted him halfway through the game, so trippy for me. It was like, whoa, this makes so much sense. This is their witchcraft. It won't work. Atlantis is way harder than them. It's just that this is all me creating a circumstance where I can relate with people who are victims of the government. So yeah, I went to school. I had to go through all the school programming. I went to college. I got lost in the whole world. Like, I'm just now coming onto the internet really in 2022 because I got super lost in the system. Also, I could relate with people, with Americans specifically, that are being programmed by Jewish Masons. It's important for this mission so I can communicate. I went to a school where I learned Latin for 4 years so I could have some deeper subconscious understanding and some level of these words. So go check out Dissect the Dialect, of course. The whole point is everything is architectural, and elements, emotions really only make sense through numbers. So this is where when you understand how light moves, then you understand that elements are us communicating about the ways in which light moves differently based on the vibrational frequency of the space that is expressing its mind into a structure. So if you see a bunch of spaces expressing their minds into a structure that moves like water, that's us referring to how water is the vibrational structure that connects all of our bodies. So now you know why you have to drink water to keep living, and why drinking water is really important for the vibrational health of your body. And if you stop drinking water, you'll die. You won't be connected to the simulation anymore. So this is, I could go deeper into the elements, but the point is, this is all here on this page. It's all reflected in chakras. Again, chaseyourgenes.com. They stole all this shit from me. So what they have for chakras here is going to perfectly correlate with all of my number information. 1, fire. 2, water. 3, air. 4, earth. 5, blood. 6, flesh. And it's important to note that I, Ahura Mazda, when I am communicating with you about angels, this is where all these chakras are going to be correlated to different angels that I'm talking about. So your angels are all your messengers. So this is where you understand that your soul is so infinite that there are many ways that you can communicate it. So then this is where you get different chakras once you build a body, because the body is actually a simulation. Every body that's building your body, your simulation, your 6, is actually spun by its own chakra. So then this is where you have your heart chakra, your crown chakra, your throat chakra, your sacral chakra. It's all related to those bodies and the function and purpose of those bodies. Literally. This is basic science. Like, they stole this shit from me. So just understand that I'm doing my best to make it as relatable as possible for you, so you can understand it from the perspective of the space that actually created these systems, not the spaces that stole them because they're lost in their own projections of wanting to be egoically seen as the one true God and the most attractive. All that Masonic Jew stuff, as we see with Hollywood and white supremacy, right? They need to whitewash everyone that they steal. All the indigenous cultures that they steal from, if they're going to depict them in their Hollywood stuff, they have to whitewash them. No different than Jesus. Or else they just teach you what I'm teaching you. They would just have actually left my information out instead of stealing it all for themselves and keeping it inside of their Vatican. They have the Hermanubis statue and all this wisdom from all these messengers of Mercury just hidden in all their places because they feel like you're not smart enough to know what I'm teaching you right now. They literally believe that. The people who built the European US banking system and government overall do not believe that you deserve what I'm teaching you. So they stole Hermeticism and Zoroastrianism for themselves, and now they have diluted it by giving you all these whack-ass counterfeit religions that are really meant to make you serve someone outside of yourself. And now you're supposed to basically be lost because they're not teaching you anything about space. That's what it comes down to. But they're using that shit for themselves. That's why they're obsessed with Zarathustra teaching them about space overall, and then they turn it into all this, oh, we need to invade indigenous lands and take over resources from Africa, and then turn it into a fucking metal rocket that we can dick our way off into a place where we can't breathe. Like, you're just making big rocket dicks, big metal dicks, so that you can blast off into atmospheres that you did not create a body in. That makes no sense. That's not intelligent. That's beyond not smart. Like the scientific community, NASA, like this all fake. It's beyond not smart, beyond not intelligent. There's no way in any human psyche, that's not human at all. Like you would just have to be an alien to think, like Stephen Hawking, the only way humans can survive the colonization of Earth is if we colonize Mars. Like they're talking about how they are destroying the planet, but then they're saying humans are destroying the planet, and then they're going to say that it's your fault, right? Because you're the humans. They're saying humans are destroying the planet, so we need to go to Mars. When they're the ones using the Industrial Revolution and all these ideas and all of these resources that they stole from Egypt and Mesoamericans and indigenous cultures to rape you and enslave you and make everyone fight each other with these ideas of white and black and these fake religions that are, again, taken from me. Because if you literally knew about space, if you knew about true Hermeticism and Zoroastrianism, then you would simply not even be able to get put in a circumstance where you feel like it's smarter to go to someone else's heaven than to be in your own heaven. And from there, it's kind of hard to go to war and like fight without a purpose, at least. Like you can intelligently fight, like that's cool, but it's hard to actually get lost in chaos because you're happy alone. See, like that's your fire. So this is Zoroastrianism. Your fire always comes first because that shows that you're happy alone. Water, your number 2, is you not being happy alone because you feel like connecting your fire to someone else's fire, which means that you're going to get lost in killing yourself. And then this is like the chaos water energy. And this is why it's important to know that spirituality plays out opposite in physical reality. Right? Spiritually, fire is good because you're alone and you're with God. Fire is God, number 1. Number 2, water is bad spiritually because water is Lucifer. Water gets you lost in the light. See, water literally gets you lost in connecting with spaces outside of yourself. That's fuck Lucifer. That's what Lucifer does. Water is the light. Whereas God, being fire, that's you connecting with your highest self and being able to manifest your highest good from that. So spiritually, it takes you choosing to use Lucifer to express your fire to others, which is you killing your ego with your soul so that you can make a mind that is consciously aware of other spaces. And that's what we're all doing right now. So again, your soul is beating your heart so that your mind can be consciously aware of this body. But no one can really see why you're beating your heart. Oh shit. Like if anyone's telling you that your soul is showing, please ask them, why am I beating my heart? They won't be able to tell you shit. And if they can tell you shit, it's definitely because you already communicated with them. Now, of course, it depends how general it is, right? Now, look, if you're like, tell me what I'm feeling, they'll definitely not be able to tell you what you're feeling. I could tell you why you're beating your heart right now. You're beating your heart because you want to connect with spaces outside of yourself. That's what we're talking about. Your heart is your Lucifer. That's why Lucifer is the music, right? He's the light bearer. Your heartbeat is bearing your light. Your heartbeat is the music that's allowing your consciousness, which is now your light, your son of God, that you've made by manifesting your fire through your water to express yourself through the body. Fire, water, air, earth. Boom, 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 boom. Very nice. Very cool. You're an alchemist. Look at you. You're the avatar. You're beautiful. So, if anyone's trying to tell you that your soul is showing, my God, like it's just, that's horrible. Like they're beyond wrong and beyond lost because, or they just, again, don't care what words mean. But if they literally don't care what words mean and you ask them, how am I feeling? And they can't tell you, but they still want to keep telling you that your soul is showing, even though they can't tell you what your memories are or how you've connected with spaces up to this point or how you feel about anything that you're seeing, then it's very clear that your soul is not showing. It's obvious. It's very obvious. You have to create a mind that can make a body to show how you felt like communicating ideas. And even that is you never showing your soul. Your soul is simply your water, your ability to connect with spaces outside of yourself. So if anyone's telling you that your soul is showing, they're only going to colonize your space because they're lost in projecting their feelings of being in you onto you. So now if they're just going to say that they know how you feel and they're going to make up stories about you. And that's not healthy to have in your space. Just know that. Like, that's not healthy to have in your space. Because those are people who are spinning their chakras in ways that are chaotically spinning out of control. So anyone who's spinning their chakras in a way that's spinning out of control, they're going to play out in a more watery energy of being like, oh, your soul is showing, or saying that, oh, you're of sin, right? Like when Jews and Christians come in, they're like, you're of sin because we have these laws and we see you doing these things and you don't have Jesus. You're of sin. That's them basically saying your soul is showing. They're projecting their egos onto you and telling you who you are so that they can control you and overall colonize you. So that's an example of how a spirit would use their chakras to manipulate you. And it would be up to you to spin your chakras in a way like Neji's rotation to cut off all those webs, to cut off all those strings, to cut off how spirits are trying to attach to you and slow you down. Because that's what happens, by the way. The more spaces try to attach to you, your chakras will very well spin slower. This is really why it's important to be with people who vibrate at high levels. Like the whole point is that, of course, this is like a whole thing, right? This is, people know this. You're the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So when you know that you're going to be a sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, then your vibration, like the vibrational frequency that your chakras are spinning in, is going to match the vibrational frequency of the chakras that other people are spinning in. This is why crabs in a bucket is a thing. That's where the crabs in a bucket mentality is. So if your vibration is so low that your chakras are spinning in a way that you don't want to be alone in your space, literally not fiery but watery, you're going to connect out with others and focus on colonizing spaces outside of yourself and using your mind to do that. You're going to use your Lucifer to do that. So then this is where spaces, if anyone says your soul isn't showing, they're literally using Lucifer to make that word mean something it doesn't mean. Objectively. And then that's where they're lying. Objectively. So then this is where it takes, of course, balance, because we would all have to consciously understand what each word means. So this is literally the idea of fairness, law, order, right? All those Ma'at principles, the Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy, the whole idea of literally fairness and balance coming from open communication. Because that's literally how we have like the court of public opinion, basically, right? So, and I mean, all universes simulations work off of the court of public opinion. That's why it's important that everyone wakes up. When everyone spiritually wakes up, Masons can't use your energy to keep cannibalizing children and doing horrible things to women anymore. Because you have used your chakra to vibrate at a high frequency that has actually cut off that sort of behavior. It's cut off the attachments to systems that would drag you down into justifying genocide. So this is what all Americans would have to learn if they actually want to be anywhere close to the vibrations of the superheroes that they worship. Whether it's Jesus or anyone in the Marvel metaverse. So, important to know that your chakra, your first chakra is your soul. But once you build a body, that body, your first body, is really going to be your mind. But once your mind starts to be more complicated, then this is where it's really about air and earth. And it's really like, this is how it really is. Like, your mind being the air creates a circumstance where every body can experience a chakra. So now each chakra that you're spinning creates a different earth. It creates a different thing that matters to you. So this is like where you can have infinite chakras. Infinite chakras are literally you having infinite bodies that you are emotionally attached to. So you're going to keep spinning your vibration into those emotional bodies that you're attached to because they matter to you. That's why they exist. You created them because they matter to you internally. Fire, water, air, earth. Basic alchemy. This is how you exist. This is how you were born. This is how you got here. So I wish they were teaching this, but the point of them weaponizing my wisdom against you is to not actually give you what I shared in the Emerald Tablets already, what I already shared in my real writings. They had to dilute it with their lies and then sell a bunch of twisted mar the veil ideas to you. That's why they're going to say Hermes created knowledge, but Hermeticism was inspired by Judaism. Like, shut up. You stop talking. God damn. We're just got to keep decolonizing these lies, okay? That's why we have these series. All the series on the CymaTree, okay? That's why I was called here, to decolonize the lies that are polluting the air and polluting the water and polluting your bodies. So now once we all connect with ourselves and know what the truth is, we're going to create a circumstance where we can all be healthier together. We can all be happier together. We can all literally like live in this superhero, awesome subconscious way together and make it real. We can be super on that high chi level together. But it takes all of us vibrating at higher levels and co-creating this reality where we can do that. Again, like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, those characters are co-creating a reality where they all have powers. It's not just one person having power destroying everyone. It's literally co-creation of superpowers. So we've got to get to that level. And I guess I didn't talk about this in the last video. So I guess, I don't know, this is a part of why I lost it, because I'm putting myself in a circumstance where I'm making myself stronger. I'm hard on myself. But no, this technology is just garbage. This technology is garbage. If it was up to me, I'd have a phone that would save my video when I recorded it. And I would have a phone that didn't have to record it into an app and then record it onto my device. So now I need twice as much space to do one thing. It's beyond stupid. So we're going to make this a two-parter. Okay? This is just me giving you a brief, I guess, just lowdown on how chakras work before we get into the actual page. Because this is like gave us the right mind frame. I was about to go an hour and a half, but there's like a lot of stuff that I shared in the last video that, yeah, I mean, I can get into in the next video, actually. So this one doesn't need to be an hour and a half. It's whatever. I'll see you in part 2. Last one was way, way nicer. Yeah, everything that I shared in the last video, I will still get into in this next video once we start addressing the page. It's just, I really felt passionate about expressing to you that I lost 1.5 hours of gold. And I couldn't just sit here and act like I didn't. It's really, like, that's hard for, like, I can't just sit here and act like I didn't go through that whole experience of already building the structure and then having it stolen from me by this phone. So I have to express that truth. And then that's my soul, right? So imagine if I was a space, if I was more in my ego and I wanted things to appear lighter because I was obsessed with appearing lighter and obsessed with making my structures appear light, then that's where I wouldn't want to express those negative emotions or actually even express anything that I held onto from the past. I would focus my ego on doing it exactly in the light way that I did it before, and I wouldn't let my feelings hold me back, or I wouldn't let my emotional connections to what I already did hold me back. So that's just the balance, because I mean, I could have done that, but to me, that's lying to myself. So I would much rather just address that. I already laid out 1.5 hours of gold, and we're going to continue and we're going to persevere. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that this whack-ass Masonic technology cannot keep stealing my time and attention as I'm living this impoverished, black boy lifestyle in LA where I can barely afford the apartment I live in. And I definitely cannot afford to have my time stolen and wasted by technology that I'm paying for. Oh my God, it's so, and this technology is stealing information from me as I'm paying for it. All in land that Europeans stole from me as an indigenous man. And these Europeans are using my wisdom against me as Metatron to teach me that I'm not me, but their shit literally doesn't matter without Mercury. How fucking, this is so meta for me. I hate it. I hate being here, but I love myself and I love other people. So I'm choosing to be here. This is all out of love. It's just all about the wisdom. So know that wisdom in this case, and well, hermetically, wisdom correlates to water and knowledge correlates to fire. So there's never ending knowledge, right? That's why I could like keep going with this video and create endless knowledge. The wisdom is knowing that all this knowledge is made up. But what makes this knowledge relatable is that I am the space that built the structure that makes astrology real. So really all of my knowledge that I'm going to share / make up, because I'm making it up with my words right now, is going to be way more truthful and relatable than any of the white supremacists, any of the Jews, any of the Masons that have stolen my ideas and are using them to spread genocide and justify evil, slavery, and atrocities. So this is the interplay of good and evil. This is literally like, even though they appear way more powerful than me in external reality, I'm forced to serve their system. I've let them fuck up my body and steal my life and steal my entire childhood and make me go to their schools just so I could create a circumstance where I can communicate about what they're doing to everybody. Does not mean that spiritually they are powerful in any way, shape, or form. So see the balance here. Understand this for you then. So spiritually, you're infinitely powerful. Physically, it may appear like you're not. This is the idea of good versus evil. Good people, when you like, especially you see this in stories, right? The good side appears weaker because the good side doesn't care about controlling physical reality as much. The good side cares more about spiritual reality. And spiritual reality always creates physical reality. So evil can be lost in physical reality forever. And they can look like they're super big and bad in physical reality. And then good spirits can go into physical reality and be like, evil is so big and bad. Oh no. But spiritually, that was you creating a circumstance where you had to level up and believe more in your space, ultimately. It's just that they stole all this shit from me as Zarathustra. It's very sad. So it's like full colonization to the max. We're supposed to be in a new time though. We're in a new time though. It's lit. We're in a new time though. We're in a new time though. I hope we're going into a new time. Some shit, I don't know. Hey, you know, I'll see you in part 2. Yeah.